My coffee is ready, the candle is lit, I am finally in the perfect environment to start recording another speed paint. So, I don't know what picture I am drawing over because I am recording the voiceover before the drawing. That's a thing I've actually never done before. I'm cheating. But this is the only time I have to record a video. So, gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm going to talk about making speed paints. And the thing is, I do already have a video titled How I Make Speed Paints. But that video pretty much just focused on the production of one, I guess, like the tools I use and the programs I use for editing and recording. So, this time I'm going to talk about how I do voiceovers and stuff like that, I guess. Because I get questions on that and other things. But before I talk about voiceovers, I do get questions on good free recording programs. So there's this site that is really good for looking that up. It's called Google. So if you just go in there, type in free screen recording programs, there's going to be a list of them. Go ahead, read the reviews on them, do your research on your own, and eventually you will come across some really good free screen recording programs. Now that you've learned about that, another question I get is, how fast do I speed up my actual speed paints? I get that quite often, I guess. It depends. Well, first off, after I have all of my screen stuff recorded, import that into iMovie. Eventually, I will change into Final Cut Pro because I've always wanted that program, but for now, I use iMovie because it gets the job done. And by the way, don't be afraid of using free programs like that. I've gotten some comments about me using iMovie because, it's free, it comes with a computer, and it's, not the best, or it doesn't give you as much options as the ones that you pay for. Like I said, I'm using iMovie because it gets the job done. I do plan on upgrading, but I just wanted to make sure this was something I really wanted to do before I spent over a couple of $100s on. So, yeah. So feel free to use the free stuff, the cheap stuff, the whatever. For now, in the beginning, get a feel for it, and then maybe you can start saving up for the really good stuff. But anyways, what I do after I import everything into iMovie, I check to see how long it is. My speed paints tend to be about like 2 to 3 hours depending on the picture. I like to write that down because I like to mention in my description how long a picture takes. So, that's something you can do if you want. And then I speed it up. I usually go for the highest speed, just automatically, which is like about 2,000% faster or whatever, or 2,000 times faster. And then I check the time, and then usually the video will go down from 3 hours to like 8 minutes. And then I'm like, is that an efficient, or is that like a appropriate time for the topic I'm going to talk about? Because I usually have like an idea of what topic I want to talk about. And if not, I'll change the speed to make the video longer or shorter, depending on how much time I want to be given to talk. So that's the thing. If you don't want to do voiceover speed paints, then that's not as big of an issue. You can just see what time best suits your video and then put music over it or whatever you plan on doing. A lot of times you want to keep your speed paints under like 15 minutes though, which is coming from me that yesterday I posted a 30-minute speed paint. The thing is, I would have never, ever done that in the beginning because nobody was watching. But I've heard people say they like my longer videos. So when I saw it was 30 minutes, I was like, you know what? I'm not that comfortable with that time, but other people say that they like it. So here I go. And plus, I know that a lot of you guys like to listen to my speed paints while you draw. So it was kind of my plan that a lot of you guys would do exactly that. So I was like, 30 minutes is a good amount of drawing time. So yeah, but I do recommend keeping it on the shorter side. I myself like to watch, if there's no voiceovers, I will rather watch a speed paint that's under 10 minutes, just because I don't have the patience to watch speed paints unless it's an artist I really, really like. And if there's music over it, there's no point in me paying too much attention to it. If it's a voiceover speed paint, I don't mind it going a little bit over because I like listening to people talk and I like getting personal with artists that I admire. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind if you plan on doing music or voiceovers. Music, again, make sure you use music that's free to use. Don't go ahead and use like radio music that might put strikes against your channel, and you really don't want to get in trouble with YouTube and music and copyright because it messes up your channel. It's not good. So yeah, be careful with the music you use. Okay, for voiceovers, I gotta go to that because that's where most of my questions come from. A lot of people have been saying that they want to get into voiceover speed paints because they were inspired by me or some other artist that does voiceover speed paints. And honestly, I am so happy because there are not a lot of artists who do voiceover over speed paint. It is hard getting into, I guess, just because, I mean, depending on how confident you are. For me, myself, if you watch my older stuff, I was very monotone and kind of boring sounding because I was nervous and I didn't give off that much of a personality. Can you hear the rain? I don't know if you guys can hear the rain. I don't know if my microphone catches that, but it's really loud. It never rains here in California. Anyways, I was very just awkward in my first video. I'm probably still awkward now, but I'm definitely not as bad as I was. It does take some time getting used to. I guess my only advice for not being like that, besides of course practice, because the more you do voiceovers, the better it gets. I heard Nia Draws, I heard one of her advices for that is to smile while talking because you can like hear the smile. I haven't tried that, but if it works for her, it's gonna work for some of you guys, so try smiling while talking. What's my advice? I don't know. I guess I've just gotten more comfortable talking to you guys as if I'm talking to my friends. So maybe if that makes it easier for you, try to imagine people that you know that you're talking to them. It just comes with getting more comfortable in front of a microphone, I guess. Or you don't have to have a microphone, by the way. My microphone is brand new. I've been using my computer microphone because, like I said, that's what got the job done. That's totally okay. Okay, but yeah, just relax. Have water with you, coffee with you, whatever, because your throat, depending, my throat would hurt a lot when talking because I was so tense that my throat would start burning after I talked for like 5 minutes. Right now, it's not burning. Maybe after a couple of good, it'll not be cool, but I was just so tense. So have some water with you. Take breaks if it's necessary. Relax your shoulders. That stuff, stretch. I'm stretching right now. Just be in an environment in which you're comfortable in and just do your best to be relaxed while talking and move your hands around. I'm moving my hands around right now just because it's good for freedom or whatever. But yeah, so that's something to be relaxed about. Another question I get is, how do you keep your voiceovers short? Because when I talk, I end up talking for like an hour. I am not the person to ask for advice for that. Like I said, I've just posted a 30-minute video yesterday. Just 30 minutes of me talking to myself, and you guys watched it. What's wrong with you? I guess the only advice that will help to keep it short would be to plan out what you say. And if you're thinking, oh, you want me to write a script? Not really. What I used to do for my older videos is I used to do like an outline of the things that I definitely wanted to mention. And that's it. But they were just like really vague outlines. Like if I was doing a video on favorite Zelda games or something like that. And I'd never do an outline for that because I just ramble about that. But if I wanted to keep it short, I'd have a page, title it like Zelda games, and then topic 1 would be like history of me and Zelda, and then and then in bullet points it'd be like my first Zelda game, or like how I got introduced to Zelda, and then the next topic would be my first Zelda game, the second topic, second Zelda game, and like bullet points of tiny things I want to mention. But that's what I would do. Does that make any sense? I feel like that's not a good topic to use just because it's Zelda, it's not an art thing. But have a short, vague outline of the things that you definitely want to mention so that you don't forget anything, because you will regret when you forget something. And you just use that, you keep that in front of you while you record your voiceovers, and that's it. I do still use those for like tutorials, but for voiceover speed paints, I just don't, because I'm way more comfortable. Of course, don't just go head first if you're not comfortable yet. Feel free to do whatever you can to make it easier for you. Oh, I guess something else I want to mention about when you do voiceovers is getting used to your voice. Cause let me tell you, when I first started doing voiceovers, I hated my voice, and I had to edit my speed paints and my tutorials, and I had to sit there in front of a computer and listen to my own voice for hours. And in the beginning, it was pretty hard because I hated my voice. I sound like a little tiny child baby, and it was just not fun. But I remember this around this time last year, well, a little further, maybe like in February or March, when after doing videos for a couple of weeks, I slowly and but surely started to get used to my voice. And it wasn't as cringy, and I just got used to it. And now when I edit my videos, I don't even think about, oh my god, that's my voice. I don't think about that at all. I just edit, and it doesn't bother me. So if you're the kind of person who is not comfortable with their voice, I know it's hard. I know you kind of just squirm when you hear your voice, especially your recorded voice, because it doesn't sound like you thought it would. I promise you, you will get used to it. It won't bother you as much after after you are exposed to your recorded voice for over 10 hours. So don't worry about it. You'll get used to it, buddy, I promise. A problem I've noticed with voiceovers, I'm just remembering things left and right here, is filler words. There you go, filler words and filler noises. And I just did one, right there. There was one right there. It's saying, or, I hear that a lot in voiceover SpeedPaint. And if you were in speech class, you would fail, because anytime you would say or in a speech, you get marked down some points, some dank nasty points that you really needed for that A. And that was another one, by the way. It's hard. It's very hard. Let me tell you. Once you start building an audience for voiceover SpeedPaints, people will tell you the patterns they notice in your voice. For example, comments like, take a shot every time she says like, or take a shot every time he says yeah. That was a reference to a YouTuber. Sorry, bro. But these are super common to do, especially when you're recording. Like when I talk to friends, like in person, I don't say like, I just never say that, because I don't know, I'm in a more comfortable situation. But when you're recording, when you know you're going to put this out to depending on your audience, a possible thousands of people, and they're listening and judging, and they're maybe learning something, you are under this kind of stress. Even though you don't realize it, it's there. And when you don't have anything to say, you're just automatically going to pick a word from your dictionary that you know of, and you're going to say it a lot. I say like a lot. I say a lot. And in my last video, my 30-minute video, I said a lot. That word. I said it a lot. I don't know if any of you guys noticed it, but if you did, I can promise you that I edited out at least 50 I edit a lot of my filler words out because it annoys me so much. Filler words annoy me so much. When I listen to other people's voiceovers, I'm just like, when they have a filler word and they don't realize it, and my hands are just so clenched. Everything is clenched. Whereas me, when I have a filler word that I notice, because you are going to be your worst critic or whatever, your worst critique. You're going to notice it, whether or not you choose to edit your filler words out or any bad comments you make. That's your choice. I myself edit a lot out because I don't like to annoy people too much, but I annoy myself in the process. I don't really have any advice for this. Just to relax, to be aware of what you're saying. It is possible to kind of filter those out. It's possible to, while you're recording, remind yourself, I shouldn't use that word. I remember in the beginning of my voiceovers, I said like a lot. So during some of my recordings, I would keep in mind, like, don't use like. And whenever I did say like, I would freeze up for a second. But then it was a good reminder, like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to use that word. So I don't use that word a lot anymore. I say still. I'm going to edit some out right now. But yeah, so it's possible to keep it in mind and to learn from it. But don't freak out because everybody has those filler words and it's okay. I'm currently taking questions on this on Twitter, so I'm just going to be answering those questions one by one. So a question I got was how to overcome your nerves when you're recording your actual drawing process. And I totally forgot to mention that because I've been talking about voiceovers this whole time, but it is a bit nerve-wracking knowing that you're drawing and that you're being recorded and that people are gonna watch it. I guess what's the only advice? God, I mean, I've been doing speed paints for years and years and years, even though I just barely started like getting any attention for it. My only advice is to ignore it. Okay, that's not really good advice, but if you're drawing and you're constantly thinking and reminding yourself that you're being recorded, you will mess up and you will, become very nervous. You gotta find a way to trick yourself into forgetting that you're recording. And it works. It really does. And eventually you're not going to have to trick yourself into doing that. You're just not going to give whatever. You're not going to care. But you have to trick yourself into not reminding yourself that you're being recorded. And remember, if it's a speed paint, you're going to be speeding it up. And so any really mistakes you make or whatever, it's not going to be as in your face as it is when you're recording live, like when it's like playing live. There's a lot of things that people miss because it's just being sped up so much. So yeah, and then plus if you are talking over it or playing music over it, people are also going to be paying attention to it. People don't really watch speed paints to watch you mess up. That's not what people are there for. They're not there to judge you when you mess up. Well, I guess they're kind of judging you, but that's not, like, don't think that people are watching. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe she messed up that line, or she didn't use the right color, or etc., etc. That's not really what they're paying attention to, so don't worry about that. It is something that you have to get over, but it's pretty easy to ignore it as well. Another question I got is, doesn't your laptop overheat after recording and drawing for long periods of time? That I can't really answer because it did actually used to do that. And it would prevent me from doing speed paints a lot because my computer couldn't take it. And then somehow I updated my computer and it doesn't overheat like at all when I record. So that's the thing I can't really answer. Like, I don't know how that got fixed at all. I just updated my computer. Some computers can't take it as well. All you gotta do, or what I used to do, was just do it in very short increments of time. I would record for like 5 to 10 minutes, stop, give it a rest, and then start recording again and then again. And it takes a very long time to do it this way. But if you're passionate enough, or you really want to make speed paints enough, it's just what's gonna have to be done. If you don't care about making speed paints that much, you probably won't put the effort into doing that, and that's totally fine. It's not for everyone. But if you're really set in mind to make speed paints, there is really nothing that can stop you. So that's all I have to say. I do know they make like laptop fans or something like that. That might help. I'm not really sure. I never used one. I hope to buy one day, but yeah, so sorry, I have no advice for that. I just got lucky. Alright, so I'm gonna stop the video right now just because I don't want it to get too long. 20 minutes right now. That's pretty long already, so I'm just gonna cut it off right here. I could probably talk about this forever, but I just don't wanna. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful to some people. I hope it motivates some of you guys to start doing voiceover speed paints, or just any voiceover anything really, or just speed paints. We need more artists out there on YouTube because just not enough. So I hope I motivated some of you guys to get started on that. And yep, okay, thank you so much for watching. Have a good week and be good people. I love you. Bye.